up, guys? This is Manelki, and welcome back to my Doom Builder tutorial for creating levels for Doom. In this episode, we're just going to talk about some basic finishing touches. Just put the extra little touches on your level to make it look a little bit nicer and play a little bit better. So, one of the first things that I'm going to want to do here is if we go into 3D mode, we go back to our starting room. This door doesn't look that wonderful. So we're going to add a little bit of a recess to it. We're going to stylize this door a little bit. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to move these vertices a little bit. Oops. So you go into vertices mode by pressing V, and you right click and drag. I like to angle my doors like that. So you get this little angled look. Now we'll just kind of drag these to match and make them look nice. And we'll line that up properly. So now we have this little angled thing there. But also, let's raise the ceiling up in this sector here, just by a little bit. So like 128, let's go to 144, 152. Yeah, do 152. Now that's going to affect this this lift here, but that's okay. We could change that, but that's fine the way it is. So we'll raise this teleporter back up, so it doesn't look so dumb. We can raise these up because we don't need ceiling there. Now, as you can see, it's complaining for a texture here, so let's give it one side defs. We will go into that one there, and we can line it up a little bit so it doesn't look so stupid. Something like that-ish, more or less. Okay. It's not perfect, but it is what it is. And then we can leave this one here. Oh no, we'll raise this up a bit. Give it the same effect. There we go. Fixie fixie. Movie. There we go. Something like that. Pretty close. Oh yeah, right, and we'll need to raise that back up. Raise that back up. I think that was it for that. So now we have this nice sort of recessed door look, and I like to do that because I don't like it when the doors touch the ceiling. It just doesn't look quite as nice in my humble opinion. So that's that. That's one little trick you can do. Another little trick you can do is you can see out here well, here, let's change this texture first of all because that's harsh. So let's put it to that. That looks a little better. Now it looks like an actual building. Now, when we were out here, as you can see, the walls of the outside of the level are the same height as our actual building. And that looks kind of stupid. So we can fix that. And the way to do that is this little trick you can use. What you do is you go back into line depth mode, and we're going to define a new sector, but it doesn't have to be very big. So we can go like this, and we can highlight. Actually, we'll do it the other way. Sorry. We're going to do it the other way. Well, same thing basically, but we'll just go about it differently. So we're going to lower the sector height of the area just around the doors. So we're going to do this. Highlight this new sector. And we're going to do that. Now we still have our walls, they still function, but now we have this extra sector right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to drop the ceiling height of that sector back down to 128. Now because we're using the F-sky thing, it doesn't matter how high your ceiling is, it's still just going to blow it away. It's still going to remove the ceiling. So you can get away with doing this outside. This does not work inside, of course, because then you end up all these texturing issues and whatnot. So now we go here, and we can see that it's raised up. Now we don't have to worry about textures here because we don't want a texture there. So I'll show you what that looks like in game. So as you can see, we now have a nice courtyard, and the walls of the courtyard are much lower than the actual building. So now it looks like we have an actual building here. So that's just a little trick you can use. Another thing you might want to do is create a little window between a couple of rooms, and that's a very simple thing to do. So we can create a new room here, And it's literally a simple matter of bridging the gap between the two rooms with an extra sector. And so right now that's going to simply open up the wall here. And all we really want to do is lower the ceiling and raise the floor. Again, middle mouse button in 3D mode. And now we have a window to that room. We're just going to add some textures here so it doesn't look so stupid. And then same thing over here. Add the textures so it doesn't look so stupid. And we are set. There we go. We have a window to that room. Another thing you can do, if you want, we can add a cage or, or something. Let's say we want to cage a monster or whatever. Let's add something here. So we can, again, line defs mode. We'll make a little cage for something. Actually, we'll make it a little bigger than that. We'll make it 128 by 128, because why not? Make a big cage. So right now here's a good sort of demo of the upper or the middle textures versus upper and lower. So right now there's nothing here. I've defined a sector, but there's nothing here. We're not going to raise the ceiling or lower the floor. Well, I guess we could, but we don't have to. What we're going to do is, while these are highlighted, we're going to go to side def. So it's not calling for any. It doesn't need any right now, but we're going to give it a texture anyways. So let's say we want, I don't know, this guy for a cage texture. Yeah, that's good enough. Actually, it's only 64 by 64. That's okay. Maybe there's a better one. It's a little bit bigger. There we go, mid-grade. 128 by 120. That's what we want. So we'll give that. We're also going to give it the same texture on the back. That way we can look through the cage and see the other cage, the other part of the cage rather. So when we do that and we go into test mode, we can see that we have this cage. And I forgot the the height of this room is in fact too high. I forgot. So we do have to lower this down a bit. That's okay. Yeah, we made it bigger to create our recess. That's okay. So we'll just go ahead and fix these textures real fast. And we'll put like metal, I guess. Not super important. Alright. So there we have a cage, but right now you can walk through that, and that's no good. So with the line selected, you can simply click impassable. That will prevent us from walking through. So to demo, let's put a monster in there. So we press T, go to things, right click to place it, go to monsters, and we'll just put like a pinky in there. So let's go to a cyber, or a demon rather. We'll do that. See what that looks like. So now we have a poor unfortunate pinky trapped in our cage. Sorry, buddy. Now another interesting little aesthetic thing you can do is you can create skylights. These are kind of fun. Let's put one over here. Oops, sorry. We don't want that. Go into line def mode and we'll create a little skylight. And it works the same way as an acid pit, but basically the opposite. So we'll just make one right here. So we can create a sector like that. Just draw the lines. And this time we want to raise the ceiling up. So let's do it by 2. Well, 2 ticks, whatever. A little bit, that's the point. And then we will give it that F-sky texture we were talking about on the ceiling, to do away with the ceiling texture, basically. Now we will, of course, give it texture. So right now, we're raising the ceiling, so we need the back of the upper texture. So in the side, back, upper texture. So it doesn't really matter what texture here. Give it more bricks, I guess. Now another little trick you can do is, because this skylight is a skylight and it's letting light in from the outside, it's probably going to be slightly brighter. So let's talk about brightness a bit. The base brightness is 192. 0 is pitch black. 255 is bright outdoors. So let's do 255 just to give it that slight brighter effect. And as you can see, it just lit up the sector there. So let's test that out and see how it looks. So as you can see, we have a skylight here, and it's slightly brighter here than it is in the rest of the room. So that's basically how that works. Now granted, the placement of that skylight is a little unfortunate, given this lift, and as you can see, there's a wall here, but you can clearly see that there's not. So just be careful in your placement of things so you don't do something stupid like that, but that's basically the skylight. And beyond that, there's a few little cute lighting things you can do, like if you want flickering lights or something like that, you can do that. So you can drop the brightness right down to whatever on a sector, and then give it some special effect, so light glows or maybe light blinks randomly, and that'll set the lights to blink, or they can pulse if you want, or all these different things you can do. Once that's all done, you're set up with your level and you're kind of happy with how it's flowing like that. Then basically what you got to think about is item placement. So things like this key up on top of the pedestal, or you know, how you want to place enemies. What you want to do basically in a general level is you want to have it in such a way as you go through one area in order to get the first key, which unlocks usually a door that you've already seen, and then you go back through that door. That door will give you the next key, which will lead you to the exit, of course. So that's kind of the basic flow idea, how most levels tend to flow. It's more or less how it works. You know, just be careful with your enemy placement. You can be clever with it too. Like I could put machine gunners in here or whatever to shoot you through the window or that sort of thing. One thing I don't recommend doing is putting enemies behind secret walls. Like I could put a room here or whatever, and I could give this a texture just to be a punk. So now you don't even see it, right? It's like, oh look, there's nothing here. Okay, well, I didn't raise the floor, but you know what I mean. Like there's nothing there, and then when the player goes by here, he's like, oh yeah, nothing's wrong, whatever. But that's a two-sided line def right there, and the monsters can see through that. So if I was to put a gunner here, face him this way, maybe a sergeant or whatever, a shotgun guy, you're gonna get shot through that wall, and that's cheesy in my opinion. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. You don't want to piss off your players. You want to make them have fun, right? So little things like that. So I think that's basically it. I don't think there's a whole lot else to talk about in the basic design of the level. For now, that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.